In our last episode, we discovered that we are biologically wired to hack the divine matrix in seemingly superhuman ways. Well, in this episode, we're going to go one step further. We'll uncover the prayer code, the formula for an empowered form of prayer that is actually mirrored in the most sophisticated computer systems known to exist in the world today. The key? Feeling as if the prayer is already answered, coming from the outcome. There is a huge difference between working toward the outcome a little at a time and beginning with the outcome. And you've probably seen this huge difference in your life as a child. I know that I did. For example, I was told when I was young, if I scrape my knee on the sidewalk, that the healing is going to happen slowly, gradually, over a period of time. And you know what? Sure enough, that's exactly the way it happened. I would look and expect, my mom told me, she said, every day it's going to get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And I'd look, and she was right. It was getting a little better, a little better, and a little better. Is it possible that when we look at our bodies with that kind of expectation, that the healing actually reflects, it mirrors our expectation? And if that is true, what would happen if we begin with the outcome? We're talking about this as a code interacting with creation. This has nothing to do with any religion whatsoever, and I want to be really clear about that. Although religions have wrapped the rules and the dogma around these deeply spiritual principles in the past, and actually led to people in some respects feeling further from their power. It has disempowered the people, the rules and the dogma. So we're cutting right through the rules and the dogma. We're going to the essence of our most ancient and cherished spiritual technology. It's about the relationship between you and me, the field, the earth, the heavens, the cosmos, and our bodies. We're part of the field. We're emerging from this field, and we communicate with the field in a language that recognizes emotion, feelings. So the principles that I'm sharing in this mode are very simple. They're also very ancient. And everything I'm saying to you, we see the instructions for this kind of prayer, for this code that allows us to speak directly to the matrix. We see these principles recorded in some of our most ancient, cherished spiritual traditions. And it's in the Gospel of Thomas that we find the instructions for the fifth mode, the lost mode of prayer. Now, I mentioned earlier that you've heard the term when something is lost in translation. And it is this translation that I'm going to share with you from this biblical book after its discovery that is a beautiful example of just how much a difference, one difference, an error in translation can make. So it's in the Gospel of Thomas that we actually find the instructions for this fifth or this lost mode of prayer, as I mentioned. So let me first read to you the translation in the authorized version of the King James Bible as we see it today. If you'd like to see this for yourself, it's in King James Version. The book of John 16 through 23 is where you would find this. I know you've heard this before. How many of you have heard, ask and ye shall receive? That's where this comes from. But let me read you the translation. The translation goes like this. Whatsoever ye ask the Father in my name, he will give it to you. Ask and ye shall receive, that your joy may be full. Okay, and that's the end of the translation. I don't know about you. When I was a kid, I would ask and ask and ask, and not much would happen. And I became very frustrated. Many people do. And we feel powerless. We feel that our prayers really aren't making any difference because we're not seeing any way to reinforce that our prayers have actually done something. They've made a difference. But we're going to go back into the original Aramaic translation, and Greek and Aramaic both, but this is going to be from the original Aramaic. In the Gospel of Thomas, you see Greek and Aramaic, is why I'm clarifying this. And I want to read you, and it's very close, but there's a powerful and subtle difference that was left out in the translation, and it may very well be because the translators did not understand what you and I are exploring right now. And because they didn't understand it, they simply streamlined the languaging. So, in the translated version, and if you'd like to see this for yourself, it comes from Neil Douglas Clotes, is the name of the translator. There's a little book called Prayers of the Cosmos. It is a beautiful, beautiful book where he retranslates so many of the very powerful prayers, and this is one of them. Now listen to the difference. In the original text, it begins a very similar way. Quote, all things that you ask straightly, directly, from inside my name, you'll be given. Okay, now here comes the translation that was in error. This is the original. Ask without hidden motive and be surrounded by your answer. Be enveloped by what you desire, that your gladness be full. That is a single, very powerful statement. I'm going to break this down. Ask without hidden motive. That is inviting you to ask without attachment to the outcome. It's actually a very Buddhist concept. Ask without attachment to the rightness, the wrongness, the goodness, the badness, or the joy or the disappointment as to whether or not your prayer is answered. Without attachment to the outcome, okay? Be surrounded by your answer. Be enveloped by what you desire. The only way to be is if those things are already present. Your prayer is already answered. You're coming from the place that the prayer has already been answered. So the key to what we're saying here, feel the feeling. Feel as if the prayer is already answered with as many senses as you can. Smell, touch, taste, hearing. Feel as if your body is already healed. Feel as if your perfect relationship is already present. Feel as if your abundance is already present. Invoke all of those senses. Our creation, the consciousness, is constantly informing us of ourselves through our creations. The things that we create, art, music, books, the things that we create that we believe are entertainment or creative expression, in addition to those things, that they are actually us informing us of ourselves, informing us of our relationship to the field, so that we can remind ourselves of this very powerful internal technology. Prayer is a perfect example of what I'm talking about here. The template that allows the most sophisticated computers and the way to work the way it works is precisely the template that allows your prayers to work the way they work. And your prayers, when you build your prayers, I'm going to invite you to do precisely this. The first statement of your prayer, a declaration statement. Tell the field, tell the matrix, tell consciousness, tell God what it is that you're about to do. In a single phrase or a brief sentence, be concise. You can simply say, this is a prayer of healing for my body, or a prayer of healing regarding my loved ones. And then in the code, what is it that you want to happen, but come from the place that it's already happened. Give thanks for what has already occurred. I give thanks for the perfection of my body, for the healing of my body, for the healing of my loved ones, for the healing of my relationship. All right? This is the body of the code. The closure, so beautiful and so powerful. In the closure, we're telling the field that it's already done. And for the closure, the texts invite us to use the original Aramaic. The original Aramaic, there's something about these words. Let me share them with you. The words La Alam, Amin, Amen. La Alam, Amin, Amen. At the end of your prayer, what does that mean? It means, I seal this prayer in trust and faith and truth. Amen. I can't think of a more powerful, more sophisticated, more beautiful technology that has been left to us than our ability to communicate with this field in a meaningful way. And I've just shared with you one template. There may be others. This is a very powerful template that was left to us 2,500 years ago that allows us to do just that. The bottom line of everything I'm saying to you is through the fifth mode of prayer, our feeling-based prayer, we are given the ability to communicate directly with the possibilities that exist in the universal field, in this divine matrix, and to do so in a language that the matrix recognizes. Our most ancient and cherished spiritual traditions have preserved the knowledge and the technique to interact with the divine matrix and for us to rewrite our personal as well as the global reality code.